Has tomorrow already happened today? An intriguing paradox indeed. Let's dive into the enigma of time, a concept that tickles our understanding and stirs our curiosity. When we think of time, we often visualize it as a linear progression, moments ticking away from the past through the present and into the future. But what if I were to tell you that this isn't the only way to perceive time? Enter the general theory of relativity. Proposed by Albert Einstein in the early 20th century, this theory revolutionized our understanding of space and time. In its simplest terms, the theory suggests that space and time are interwoven into a single continuum known as space-time. And space-time isn't flat, it's curved by the matter and energy in it. Now, this is where things get interesting. If space and time are part of the same fabric, then they're not absolute. The passage of time can change depending on the strength of the gravitational field you're in and how fast you're moving. This leads us to the mind-bending conclusion that the future could, in a sense, already have happened. Imagine a cosmic film reel, where all events of the universe, past, present and future, are already imprinted. Each frame of this film represents a slice of space-time, a specific moment. We, as conscious beings, experience these frames one by one, giving us the perception of time passing. But from a four-dimensional perspective, all these moments exist simultaneously. This brings us back to our initial paradox. If all moments exist at once, then tomorrow is already here, it has already happened. The future, in a sense, is as present as the now. But as we're bound by our perception of time, we can only experience it as a series of unfolding moments. Intriguing, isn't it? The future might not be as far off as we imagine. Dive deeper into the fabric of time. It's not as linear as it seems. When we think about time, we often picture a straight line, a timeline, if you will, where past, present and future are neatly arranged in a linear sequence. But what if I told you that this is not the full picture? That time and space are not separate entities, but rather they are interwoven into a four-dimensional fabric known as space-time. Space-time is a concept that comes from Einstein's theory of relativity. It suggests that we exist in a four-dimensional universe, with three dimensions of space and one of time. But these dimensions are not separate. They are interconnected, creating a fabric that stretches and bends with the mass and energy within it. Now, let's talk about time dilation. It's a fascinating phenomenon that also springs from the theory of relativity. It tells us that time can stretch and squeeze depending on the speed at which you are moving and the gravitational pull you are experiencing. This means that time can pass at different rates for different observers. What might seem like a minute to you could be a whole hour for someone else. It's like being in a sci-fi movie, isn't it? Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. If time can stretch and squeeze, and if it's intertwined with space into a flexible fabric, then it is not strictly linear. Past, present and future are not as neatly arranged as we thought. In fact, they could all exist at once, just experienced from different perspectives. So what does this mean for our future? If space-time is a four-dimensional block, where all moments in time exist simultaneously, then in a sense the future has already happened. It's just that we haven't experienced it yet from our perspective. So, if time isn't linear, where does that leave our future? It leaves it right where it's always been, existing alongside the past and the present in the intricate weave of space-time. We just need to travel along our timeline to experience it. But that's a topic for our next scene. For now, let's ponder the possibilities that this non-linear view of time presents. Time travel isn't just for science fiction. Let's explore why. Diving headfirst into the realm of theoretical physics, we encounter concepts that seem straight out of a sci-fi novel. Yet these theories, such as the existence of wormholes and black holes, provide us with tantalizing possibilities about time travel. Wormholes, bridges through space-time, are one such concept. They're predicted by the theory of general relativity, and, if they exist, could create shortcuts for long journeys across the universe. Imagine a piece of paper folded in half. If you punch a hole from one side to the other, you've essentially created a wormhole, a direct route from one point to another, bypassing the traditional path. Now, if we apply this concept to the fabric of time, it's plausible that wormholes could allow us to jump from one moment to another, effectively enabling time travel. Then there are black holes, regions of space-time where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape their pull. The intense gravity of a black hole can slow down time significantly. This was famously illustrated by the physicist Stephen Hawking. He suggested that if someone were able to orbit a black hole without falling in, they would experience time at a slower rate. Upon their return to Earth, they'd find that more time had passed here than for them. In essence, they would have traveled to Earth's future. And if these theories hold weight, they present an intriguing question. Has the future already happened? If we can move back and forth in time, then in a sense the future is as accessible as the past. Someone might have already lived the events of our tomorrow and returned. So we find ourselves standing at the edge of a paradox, a precipice where our understanding of time is challenged, where the future and the past could coexist. Science continues to push the boundaries of our knowledge, and maybe one day we'll have a definitive answer. So, if time travel is possible, has someone from the future already visited? Here's an idea: the future is now. Confused? Let's unravel this. Picture a river. The water you see in front of you is the present. Upstream, where the water comes from, is the past. Downstream, where the water goes, is the future. This is how we commonly perceive time. But what if I told you that the river is not flowing at all? That the water you see is all there is, all there ever was, and all there ever will be? Welcome to the concept of presentism. Presentism suggests that only the present moment exists. The past and the future are not real in the same way the present is. They are mere ideas, constructs of our mind to make sense of the world. So when we say the future is now, what we mean is that the future doesn't exist outside of the present moment. It's not waiting for us downstream, it's here, in the water we see in front of us. But how can this be? How can the future already have happened if we haven't experienced it yet? Well, remember, presentism says that the future is not something that literally exists, waiting to unfold. Rather, it's a potential, a set of all possible outcomes that could emerge from the present moment. It's already happened in the sense that all possibilities are already contained in the present moment, like seeds waiting to sprout. This might seem counterintuitive, especially because we experience time as something that flows, that moves from the past, through the present to the future. But presentism challenges this perception. It asks us to consider that the flow of time is not something that happens out there in the world, but inside our minds. So, is the future already here? According to presentism, the answer is yes. The future, like the past, is embedded in the present moment. It's not something we're moving towards, but something we're living right now. In the realm of presentism, tomorrow has already transpired today. Let's unravel the paradox. Has the future already happened? Picture this. We've journeyed into the intriguing realm of the time paradox, woven through the intricate fabric of time and dabbled with theories of time travel. We've even dared to suggest that the future is now. But what does this all mean? Let's take a step back and revisit the key points. We've seen that time isn't merely a linear progression of events, it's a complex tapestry interwoven with threads of the past, present and future. Theories of time travel, from Einstein's relativity to quantum mechanics, suggest the tantalizing possibility that the future isn't confined to tomorrow. It could be happening right now, in a parallel universe, or it might have already occurred. This is where the paradox really starts to unravel. If the future has already happened, it challenges our perception of reality. We like to think of time as a river, flowing from the past, through the present and into the future. But what if that river is more like an ocean, where past, present and future coexist? It's a mind-bending concept, isn't it? But there's more. This paradox doesn't just affect how we perceive time, it could also change how we live our lives. If the future is already set, does that mean our actions are predetermined? Or do we still hold the reins, able to steer our destiny in any direction we choose? These are profound questions, and science doesn't have all the answers yet. But that's what makes this journey so fascinating. We're exploring the boundaries of our understanding, venturing into the unknown and expanding our horizons. The paradox of time isn't just an intellectual curiosity. It's a gateway to a deeper understanding of reality and our place within it. It invites us to see the world in a new light, to question our assumptions, and to imagine possibilities beyond our wildest dreams. The future, it seems, is not a distant dream, but a reality that might have already unfolded.